Let me ask you about people who work or live in a highly toxic environment. Somebody works in a garage where their car's coming in all the time and gas going on and off, whatever else it is. People that live near a highway, people that are in a chemical factory, people that are in places where all day long, whether they know it or not, they're subjected to this toxicity. Would that be a person that would be somebody should be taking a mushroom supplement?
I think that would be actually a good candidate for the product because in nature, if you look at the fungal kingdom, the mycelium growing on the forest floor in very contaminated places, even in Chernobyl with the power plant, the nuclear power plant blew up, you still find mushroom around them. I think what the mushroom community in the form of this mycelial mass is they would sacrifice part of the mycelium, excrete certain protein, going through a chelation process to render the toxin to be inactive so that they can survive. So I am just speculating that some of that function also would be lent to us when we take the mushroom powder or the mushroom product that would help some form of a chelation process. Now this is not empirical, this is purely rational idea that I have on the subject. But looking at mushroom, they are able to really, some practitioner would use mushroom as a detoxification material. So I know of a practitioner which every time he sees a new patient, he would say, what's yesterday, what's today, what's tomorrow. So yesterday we have to detoxify. Today we have to look at what symptom, what ails you now, we work on it. Then tomorrow is what do we have to do to prepare you so that you don't get into trouble again. So I think those are very rational approach to good health. Yeah.
All right, let's look at another group of people.
Okay.
One of the fastest growing groups in our country are people who are over 65 years old. I mean, our life expectancy has been increased quite a bit. A lot of those people end up 15 or 20 years of being kind of ill along the way. Mm-hmm. But they're subjected to much more to be a candidate for something to happen in that area. Would it be a good idea to have a supplement with mushrooms in it for an individual that is in that age group, healthy or non-healthy?
Yes, I think for this group of people, it would be a very good product to have on a regular basis because it really supports the basic function of our body. This includes the immune function, the hormonal functions, and the neural functions because it amplifies the signals between cells. And to have a healthy life is the cell can communicate well, and then we can support each other. So different cardiovascular, neural system, the hormonal system. If you have a balanced system, you're generally much healthier. You can deal with infection and so forth a lot better.
What about individuals who work in very under high stress circumstances, whether it be someone who teaches 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, a nurse, somebody on the front lines in the Army? What about people that are under stress most of the time while they're working? Would it be helpful to that individual to be having a mushroom supplement that they take on a regular basis, or part of their?
Yeah, I think people under stress and hostile environment, usually they express different level of hormone, and that actually affect their normal function, so that they are more susceptible to infection and so forth. And so it's, again, the balancing effect of mushroom that can help the body. So you overly excreting certain hormone because of stress, somehow there's information in there to tone it back down. So there's a physician in the UK work with our product, and one of the things they observe is that look at the cytokines profile of the body. After consuming the mushroom, they look at the group of cytokines. They said there is a Th1, Th2 immune balancing effect. So Th1, Th2 is an immune function. It's more of a circadian cycle. Th1 is more of a daylight hour cycle. Th2 is the night cycle. Th1 is your frontline defense. This is the macrophages, natural killer cells. At the night time, it was turned over to the B cells producing antibodies. So the front line is a very aggressive defense. It kills infection, but it also kills your healthy cells because it's non-specific. At nighttime is that the information passed on the night, the B cells say that we take care of 99% of the infection of virus in the body, but there's still signal out there. There's still that 1-2% hiding somewhere in the system. We cannot find them. So can you guys come up with an antibody to kill them? So, but your immune system takes a little, you go back to the memory bank first to say, we've seen this before. In 6 hours, the antibodies produce. Or they say, you know, we've never seen this before. We got to map out the configuration of this molecule. And it would take them a week, 2 weeks to come up with the antibody. But in the meantime, the front line is still fighting the 99%, but there's still 1% hiding somewhere. And your body's trying to deal with it. So after 2 weeks, the antibodies produce, and all of a sudden, you wake up in a cold sweat, and you say, oh, I feel better already. And it's that aspect that we think the importance of this balance. And so when you have a viral infection, for example, the virus, because they want to stay in your body long enough for you to spread the virus to your compatriots, to the other people you come in contact with, they will shift your system to the longer duration. Usually they would take the risk of the Th1 because they know they find a place to hide. You only can kill 99% of it, but they have a better chance to survive for a few more days, enough for you to spread the germs. So they want you to stay in the Th2 level longer, and they would be able to buy time. But if you chronically have that problem over many, many years, your system would be compromised quite a bit. So if you can bring it back to the Th1, Th2 normalcy, then you will have a much better chance of having a healthy prospect of living. And so I think that's important. It's a complex system, but that's within us. It's the wisdom in our body.